Welcome to Morning Infusion with Dr. V. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to be a single mom, a nurse leader, a model, a public speaker, and a brand ambassador? Well, stay tuned for our special guest. My name is Dr. Viola Pierce. I'm the owner and the CEO of VP Nursing and the Nurse Nurturer, and the facilitators of Secret Suppers Worldwide with Dr. V, where our goal is to equip healthcare professionals to be financially stable to lead a full, empowered life. Our goal is to come to you each Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to give you the fuel to crush your goals and to show up exceptional on a daily basis. You can follow us on Twitter at the Nurse Nurturer, Instagram at VP Nursing. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and please share this video. You can also visit us at our website at vpnursing.com. So our special guest today is Marie Lofton. Marie Lofton graduated from Nash Community College with her associate degree in nursing in 2009 and began working as a mother-baby nurse. We love you in the ER. We love the mother-baby nurses because we're not trying to deliver children. Due to the working hours, she transitioned into public health at the health department as a family planning coordinator. She later relocated to Virginia at the health department, specializing in women's health and family planning, all while remaining PRN at her local hospital. Deciding to further her nursing education, she went back to school at Western Governors University and graduated with her bachelor's in science in nursing in 2018. She is currently the PACT RN manager with the VA. She is currently enrolled in the master's program at Western Governors University and hopes to graduate in 2021 with her master's of science in nursing with a concentration in leadership and management. In addition to nursing, she is a published plus size model, public speaker, and was recently crowned as Miss Plus American Nation 2021 and Miss Frontlines 2021. She is the mother of 3 and the grandmother of 2. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so excited to have you.
I'm happy to be here.
I love it. I love it. So tell us about your nursing journey. So we know how long you've been a nurse, but what was your primary reasoning for becoming a nurse?
Oh, if I could go back. So my oldest daughter was born in 2001. I'm an Army veteran. And so she was born in 2001 and I was at Fort Hood, Texas. And she ended up in the NICU. She had meconium aspiration and the NICU nurses were wonderful. They were so attentive. It was just the care that I received while she was there. I was able to stay at the hospital with her while she was in there. She was only in there for almost a week, but the care that I received there, I was like, I want to do that. Okay. I want to be a nurse. And so, I still had a couple of years left in the military, but I was like, I don't know if I want to do this Army thing anymore. But when I got out, I decided I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm going to be a nurse. So when I got out, I was a correctional officer for a couple of years. Just needed a job straight getting out of the military. But then I said, okay, I'm going to start my journey. I started off as a CNA, and then I was an LPN, and I started at Nash Community College. And then while I worked as an LPN, that's when I decided to go into the RN program. And so that's how my journey started.
I don't think that I knew that you were an Army vet. I mean, I'm super, I love it that you have literally over the years just progressed, right? You never stay stagnant. And that's huge, right? Because people just stay in that same place forever and ever and a day, and then they never grow. Mm-hmm. And growing is uncomfortable, right? But
it's very uncomfortable.
But you have done it like a boss. I love it. I love it. Now, you've recently participated in a pageant and won. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So tell me, what was the primary reason for your participation?
Well, and I'm going to be transparent. I had gotten out of a bad relationship. I was married for a period of time and had gone back and forth with my ex-husband, getting back together, trying to make things work again, and it just didn't work. I had relocated from North Carolina to Virginia and had gone through a bad depression after we had broken up that final time. And when I was coming out of the depression, I decided I was going to do some things for me. I was learning how to love myself again, which is what birthed my business, Lovely Ladies LLC. And that's when I decided to do the public speaking. But I also wanted to do some things to show other women who maybe have been going through something similar that you can be plus size, because I am a plus size woman, that you can be plus size and be a model. You can be plus size, be a pageant queen. So I decided, I'm out here modeling. I'm out here taking these beautiful pictures. I'm gonna go for this pageant. And I won. It was just, I just have been on this roller coaster ride of trying new things. And I did pageants when I was a teenager, but it's totally different when you're an adult. Like the adrenaline is high because, you don't move the same way that you did when you were a teenager.
That's for sure.
Yes. But it was a lot of fun, a lot of positivity, a lot of queens uplifting queens, and I really enjoyed it.
I love the fact that you have to wear your crown, because we're always told, straighten your crown up, queen,
Mhm.
right? And we are queens, right? We
Yeah.
are queens. And if we looked at ourselves, our self-talk, like what we say to ourselves is
Mhm.
super important, right? And
Very-
wearing that crown makes you like, look
Yeah,
at me,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I love it.
Make sure it's straight.
That's right. That's right. So now you are raising your granddaughter. Tell us about that journey. Tell us why you're raising your granddaughter. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, my granddaughter is 4, and so her mother is a teen mom. So when COVID first started, my daughter had just graduated high school, and she wanted to step out there on her own, which, we all want to do when we finish school. She didn't want to go to college. And so when COVID happened, a lot of her plans didn't go as planned. And I felt that it was in the best interest that my granddaughter, for her safety, stay with me. So my daughter is out there finding herself, trying to get herself together. So my granddaughter has been with me ever since then.
Good, good. I love that. I love that whole family vibe there. So, what is some of the tough decisions that you have had to make as a mother that you did not think that you would have to make, as you started?
Well, that was one of them. Was deciding to have my granddaughter stay with me because my youngest child is 13, and so it was a shock to my system because I had kind of passed that. Of course, my daughter being a teen mom, that was a journey in itself. Being a young grandmother, having a baby in the house again. And so there were a lot of hard decisions there that I had to make, a lot of sacrifices that I had to make. But the biggest thing I would say is learning how to say no. Because I had to, we give so much of ourselves as a mother. Mm-hmm. And as they get older, they rely on me a lot. And so I had to learn to say no, and that is very, very hard because as a mom, you just want to take care of your kids. You want them to have everything that you didn't have when you were coming up. But I had to draw a line. I had to say, okay, y'all are grown now. Mama got to say no. Mm-hmm. Y'all got to learn on your own.
One of the things that Miss Daisy Battle told me when I was, just kind of going through that time period where I was struggling with saying no, yes, or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. Because you want to give like you said, you want to give your children things that you didn't have. Mm-hmm. And what she said to me, she said, after they turn 18, the only thing that you owe them is love. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay. She said, don't feel guilty about anything else. What you put in them is what's coming out of them. She said they just have to develop, and they're like that seed under the ground, right? And they're going to sprout and they're going to grow. But in that growth process, it's not going to look like what you thought it was going to look like. But at the same time, you have to just be patient through it all and trust that God has got it in all in his control. That thing changed my life.
Oh
And
man,
so
that's a word right there.
that thing changed my life. And it, and when my daughter, because my daughter was a teen mom too, when she came and she told me that she was pregnant, I kind of knew, and the Lord knew that I needed to have that. I didn't need to be surprised by it. And
Hmm.
so I kind of knew, because we're nurses, we know,
Right, right.
whenever you're sleeping all day, you're throwing up, you probably are pregnant. Okay. So I came home and she told me, and the Lord just dropped it in my spirit. This is not the worst thing that could ever happen to her. She's
True.
not dead. She's not in the ground. You just need to be patient through the process and trust that I got it all in my control. So I said, okay, I'm good now. What is one characteristic that you think every leader should possess?
One characteristic is, well, that's a hard one. So many jump to my mind. Is patience.
Mm,
Patience. Because you're going to be tested. It's going to be tested. Yep.
that is so true. That is
That
so
is so
true.
true.
And
Hmm.
understanding that, it's going through the process.
Hmm.
People are so, and I used to be this way. Like I wanted to get to the end goal. I wanted to get to the mountaintop. But the
Hmm.
reality is that where you grow is in the process getting to the mountaintop. The
True.
mountaintop feels phenomenal, right?
Mhm.
But it is getting to that mountaintop that your growth occurs. So yes, I love that. Now, what is one of the biggest challenges you think is for healthcare leaders in today's environment?
One of today, one of the biggest challenges is learning to adapt.
That's right.
Um, there are a lot of things happening in the world that is affecting, especially healthcare, with COVID, and a lot of places are trying to use technology to perform services. And you have some leaders who are used to how things have always been. This is how it's always been. And I don't know if I like this. And then you have others, especially some of the ones that are just coming out of school. They're innovative. They have all these ideas. Well, I love this, and let's incorporate this, and this. And you have those leaders that are working together. And so they clash a lot. So there are all these meetings. Nobody can come to an agreement, and then policies are put out. And you can tell, well, I don't think, okay, did they read the policy? And you're like, man, so I think being adaptable to change, because change, that's one thing that is very constant.
And one thing that I'm a huge proponent of is including the bedside nurse at the table, because the best, I mean, you cannot understand as a leader what the bedside nurse has to go through. I remember going from the old ER to the new ER, where
Mhm.
literally you could walk out of a room and you could see the entire emergency department pretty much for the most part. And then now you walk out of a room and you're like in these little corners, right? Because of the way that it is built, and you have all these walls, and it's almost like you're isolated. And you want to make sure that the nurse understands you understand what barriers that you have now created as a result of the building, right? And
That is so
so
important. And you know what? That is one of the reasons that I decided to go back to school, because I was at the table at some of those meetings, and my voice was not heard because I didn't have enough credentials to go with my experience.
wow.
So I was like,
Wow.
well, why am I at this table if you're not going to listen to what I have to say? And you know how it's almost like I was standing outside of my body and watching the meetings. And I'm like, I would say something. Okay, all right, thank you, Miss Lofton. And then, we'd be at another meeting, maybe a couple of months later, another nurse, another leader, someone with a little more, credentials than me would say the same thing or present the same idea, jump on it. And I would look and be like, something's got to change. What's happening here? So
That's
I said,
right.
okay, I'm going back. I'm going
W-
back.
one of my leaders that I so appreciate what she said to me. She said, I'm just the orchestrator of the symphony. She said, you're the players. I just orchestrate what happens. She said, and you tell me what to do, and I will do what you tell me to do. And I appreciated that so much. And it makes such a big difference. And so I cannot tell you how much I appreciate her to this day for that. Now, what is one mistake that you witness leaders making more frequently than others?
I would say inconsistency.
Ah,
Mhm.
mm, that is so true.
Mhm. I would say inconsistency. I see leaders that come and they want to be they want to be everyone's friend, or they come in and they may just, are feeling their way out. And I see inconsistency across the board. And I'm like, mm, you got to establish yourself. You want to be consistent across the board if you want to develop trust amongst the people that you're supervising, or the people that you have to look out for. So I would say inconsistency.
One of the things that Stephen Furtick, he has a song out. It's called I forgot what the name of the song is, but anyway, it says consistency separates all-time greats from one-hit wonders. And that's
Mm-hmm.
one of the reasons why I'm doing the 75-day challenge,
Mm-hmm.
because it keeps, I have to hold to that consistency. So every day I've got to do the same thing every single solitary day. And that's tough, right? Because what we do is we get on these diets, right? And we stay on it for 21 days and we think it's going to change our behavior and then we're good. But the reality, and Denise Dunn said this when she was up here on Morning Infusion, she said, I don't care what diet it is. She said, the problem is that we get on the diet and then we're not consistent with it. She
Sure.
said, I was like, well, that's true. That's true. And so for 75 days, if I stay on it for 75 days, then I will get used to, those 4 miles a day. Pray for me. What advice would you give someone that is going into leadership for the first time?
What advice would I give? I would say prepare to be flexible. Prepare to be flexible. Mm-hmm. It is not an easy task to go into leadership. And we talked about things changing all the time. Prepare to be flexible.
Mm-hmm. I I tell people
That's
all
what
the time.
because
I
you
said,
never know.
that's right. There's a goal. We have a goal, and at the end of that goal, so I don't care whether we have to go this way to get to the goal, or whether we have to go this way to get to the goal, or whether we got to squiggle our way
Right.
up to the goal. It really doesn't matter to me as long as it's ethical, it's moral, and it's legal, right? I don't care
Right.
how we get to the goal. We just need to be able to get to that said goal. And so that's huge, 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 as it relates to that. So, what are some things that you are doing to ensure that you're growing as a leader? Like, what are some of the resources that you recommend for those looking into going into leadership for the first time?
I would say look into continuing education courses, any type of learning opportunity that you can take it. Learning is continuous.
That's
It's
right.
it's on a spectrum. It doesn't matter if it's, I say continuing education, I'm speaking from a nurse aspect, but but any opportunity that you have to learn, there are classes offered in the community, churches, hospitals. There are learning opportunities everywhere. If you have the opportunity to sit up under someone who knows something that you don't know and you want to learn it, do it.
That's right.
Mm.
John Maxwell has this thing where he tells the leaders to do. He said, you want to take a leader out every month, and I was doing that prior to COVID, but take a leader out to dinner every month and tell, just kind of pick their brains, ask them their leadership style, ask them the things that they do. Somebody that you respect, I probably should do it virtually now, just send dinner to their home and then do that way, because it makes such a huge difference.
Yes.
And I've learned so much from other leaders that I wouldn't normally have found out otherwise. So that's huge. You're absolutely right. So now, who is someone, and I remember us talking prior to this, and you were like, there's several, okay? Who is someone that has had a tremendous impact on your life? How did they influence your life?
Oh man, there's so many people. Well, I'll say, while I was in nursing school, someone who had a big impact on my life was Cheryl Trace, God rest her soul.
Yes.
She was one of the first ones to tell me. She said, "You're gonna do big things in nursing," and I was like, "I'm trying to pass this." I was just trying to make it. I had that mentality back then. C equals RN. So, right. But she told me that on more than one occasion. And I remember talking to her, going back up to the school just to visit, and just talking to her. She had so much knowledge, and she was so like laid back and easygoing. She was like, "Girl, you got this." She said, "You're gonna do big things." And I remember her telling me that, and I always will remember that. She had a big influence on me, and she didn't even know it. She's one of the people. And then, of course, my mother. And my mother, I give her a hard time now. But growing up, and I didn't realize it growing up how hard my mother worked. She was a single parent, and she had multiple jobs. And I remember thinking to myself, I'm not going to work multiple jobs when I grow up. I'm not doing all of that.
And here you are.
Yeah, here I am, wearing multiple hats, doing 100 different things, and finding that I had to do the same thing. But she did it for us, and I remember that saying those things, and I apologize to her later on, because she has an awesome work ethic. She's still working now. But so that work ethic stayed with me. So, I'm always be working. I'm always be doing something. That's why I always am doing something. It's because of my mom. Thanks, Mom.
I have to tag her in the post to make sure she knows.
I would tag my mom. And let's see, who else? I have had a slew of nursing friends. Gosh, it's just so many people. Those are the two main people that I want to say. Yeah.
Miss Trace was funny because when you went through fluid and electrolytes, that was the class that everybody dreaded. And the thing about her is that she came in, she was the only person that I knew exactly how to do fluid and electrolyte after she taught it. And I was like, and see, and that makes you a good teacher, because some of the teachers, and I've had some great nursing instructors, so I'm not gonna bash them, but some of them would come in there and they would teach you stuff, and then they would put out a test, and nothing that was that they told you were on the test. I was like, what kind of foolishness is that? Makes absolutely no sense. Well, you should have read the book. Okay, I should have read 1,200 pages. Okay, how about you just teach it to me? Help me out a little bit. If I got time. Anyway, I'm done with school. That's the reason why I'm talking with Joe, right? So thank you for showing up. My name is Dr. Viola Pierce, owner and CEO of VP Nursing and the Nurse Nurturer and the facilitators of Secret Suppers Worldwide with Dr. V, where our goal is to equip healthcare professionals to be financially stable to lead a full empowered life. Our goal is to come to you each Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to give you the fuel to crush your goals, to show up exceptional on a daily basis. You can follow us on Twitter at The Nurse Nurturer, Instagram at VP Nursing. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And please share this video. And you can also visit us at our website at vpnursing.com. You guys have a phenomenal day.
Have a good day.